Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Viewers, you are familiar with the word Xinjiang and propaganda. We have often seen some Western countries, their media houses, their think tanks, or the policy experts. You usually talk about the human rights violation in Xinjiang or the miserable life of the people. But when we go to the Xinjiang, we find entirely an opposite picture. So we just try to find out what are the reasons behind this propaganda. If I look at these all the facts and figure and the Western propaganda, so I come to conclusion there are two major points which make Xinjiang the point of propaganda. Number one, it's a natural resources. Number two, the potential to become the connectivity hub. If we look at the natural resources, I just give you a few examples. The Xinjiang contribute or accounts for 30% of total reserve of oil in China and 34% of total reserves of natural gas and 40% of coal. These are the huge research. If we look at the energy-starved world and the needs of China, these are the huge resources. These are explored, but there are also unexplored resources which maybe in the future will make the contribution of the region and more to the natural resources of China. Maybe it make China one of the leading players in the energy resources in future. Second, there is also very precious minerals. Some estimate shows that there also are rare earth metals which are explored. There are 130 minerals, there are main minerals which has been explored in Xinjiang. The number can be more in the coming days. So this region is a natural resource rich, which make it vulnerable to Western propaganda. Number two, Xinjiang has the potential to become a connectivity hub, land connectivity hub for China on multiple fronts. For example, on one side, Xinjiang is bordering with Pakistan and India. On other side, Xinjiang is bordering with Kazakhstan, with Turkmenistan and other Central Asian states. And if we look at the north, so Xinjiang is bordering with Russia. And if you look at the northwest, it is bordering with the Mongolia. And other countries, if we look at that, there are a number of countries which have borders with China, with Xinjiang. This is area from where the freight trains leave for the Europe. So this is one of the main connectivity hub for the trade with the Europe by train. If you look on the Pakistani side, it provides the best route, an alternative route to China through the CPEC route to connect with the world. And it is also one of the shortest route if China want to do the export or to build the trade linkages or any other activity with the Central Asia, with the Middle Eastern countries, North African countries and some other countries, even with the European countries. This is the shortest route. And this is also safe because if we look at the situation in the Strait of Malacca, so there's tension is going on. So there are some claims of different countries and there are dispute among different countries. So that disputes make Strait of Malacca a vulnerable point which can be choked in the future. So the CPEC route provides them an alternative route. So Xinjiang also provides that link. So these are the two major parts which make Xinjiang the target of the propaganda. If we look at the propaganda, they are specially targeted that. What is objective to do that? If they are able to create instability in Xinjiang, if the Western countries are able to trigger the sentiments of Muslims on the presumptions or the allegations of that, so China is mistreating its Muslim population, if they are able to instigate terrorism, so they will be able to benefit from the resources of Xinjiang, and they will also be able to cut the prospects of China and potential of China to become the hub of connectivity with the world through the Xinjiang. Because through the Xinjiang, all the European free trade are leaving from here. So if they are able to create instability here, so they will be able to create problems for the China and check the peaceful rise of China. China is cognizant of these all facts. So China has opened the Xinjiang to the world and letting the world know that what is the actual status. And China is enormously investing in Xinjiang. If you look at the data from 2024, if you look at the data, So it's a state-owned enterprises of China. They invested almost 39.1 billion US dollar in single year in Xinjiang, and they are planning to invest 53.1 billion in 2025. If you look at the grain production of the region, so the first time the region has produced more than 23.3 million tons of grains. If you look at the cotton, so the region have produced more than the 92% of cotton, total cotton production of China. It also have given a huge impetus to the textile industry in the region, which created an economy of 33 billion US dollar. For the exact number, you can look at the screen because the exact number are giving there. So it also created 1 million jobs. Only the textile sector has created 1 million jobs in this area. On top of that, when people say that it is not a safe area to visit, or there is instability, or there are some problems, look at the number of the tourism. The number will shock you. In the 2024, they have contributed more than 50 billion US dollar to the economy of Xinjiang only from the tourism. So what these all numbers tell us? It tells that Xinjiang is growing, China is investing, and people's life are getting better. And one other point I want to make here, if you look at the GDP of this Xinjiang region, it has shown the tremendous scope and enormous growth rate during the last few years. For example, it's when Xinjiang was poor or China was not doing well, China before the reforms, it took 42 years Xinjiang to reach the mark of the 100 billion mark of economy of GDP. But in the next 20 years, it's become 1 trillion yuan economy. In the next 7 years, only within 7 years, it's double its economy. Now it's an economy of more than 2 trillion yuans, which again shows that Xinjiang is growing, China is investing. So in this context, I don't feel there any justification for the propaganda, but definitely propaganda will go on, and especially after the post-trade war. That's why my proposal for the Chinese authority would be, you need to show the true picture of China to Xinjiang to the world. You should share the facts and figure. You don't need to fabricate the facts and figure or fabricate the campaign, because you have invested in reality. You have invested in Xinjiang. The Xinjiang's fate has been turning around. Xinjiang is transforming. The living standard is improving. So you have to show that this true picture to the world. Otherwise, in the post-war era, in the post-trade war era, so new propaganda will come and will target China. Thank you.